Aleichem. This week's Parasha, Parasha's Tsav, Shabbat HaGadol, a very special week. It's an interesting thing, all the way at the end of the Parasha, the last pasuk, it says, Vayas Aharon Uvonov, Aharon and his sons did this, Kol HaDvorim, all the things Asher Tziva Hashem, Hashem commanded, B'yad Moshe, in the hand of Moshe. And Rashi explains, what does it mean he did? So Rashi says, Lahagid Shvochon, to tell their praise, Shaloi Hitu, they did not deter, they did not swerve, they did not sway, yamin or small, right or left. Whatever they were told to do, that's exactly what they did. And the question is obvious. What does it mean? This is a praise? If God would come to one of us and tell us that we should do a command, of course we would do it. Everybody would do it. A direct command from Hashem. So what's the praise that they didn't deviate from the command of Hashem? Of course they didn't. We could explain this with a svasemes. The svasemes explains by the menorah that Aharon did as Hashem commanded. He lit the menorah as Hashem commanded. There it also says Aharon did Kasha Tziva Hashem, like Hashem commanded. And there also Rashi says, Lahagid Shavochoi, to tell the praise that he didn't deviate. And the same question the Sasemes asked, he says, that's a praise that he didn't deviate? Of course. You have to listen to the command of Hashem. Sasemes explains an answer that, of course, he followed instructions. That goes unsaid. What the Torah is trying to teach us is that the same excitement, happiness that Aharon went to light the menorah the first time, that same excitement continued day after day after day. And that's what it means. He did not deviate. Shaloi Shina, he did not change. His attitude didn't change. Not his actions. Of course his actions were done as God commanded. But his attitude was the same day after day, with the same excitement and the same happiness. And that's what it means here also. Aharon and his children did the korbanot also with that same excitement every single day. It never became mundane. It never became dull. Always excitement with love and kindness to serve Hashem, their Creator. And that's the lesson that we also have to instill in our lives. That the mitzvot that we do every day, the daily routine, the talit, the tefillin, the tzitzit, there's some things that we just works by rote. It just happens by itself. We don't even think. And that we have to work on. That no, it should not be rote. It should be something with an excitement and a happiness. And the same thing also is in bells, by the Belzer Rebbes. Even though usually the custom by most Hasidim is to put on tefillin for a bar mitzvah boy a month before, but in bells they put on the day of the bar mitzvah. They once asked the Belzer Rav, why is the custom different than all the other Hasidim? And he explained, because he wants on the first day that the bar mitzvah becomes 13 and it becomes obligated to put on tefillin, he should do it with an excitement which is the first time. And rather than putting on a month before and slacking off and losing that initial excitement. And really this was one of the inventions of the Baal Shem Tov. The Baal Shem Tov, one of his inventions was that the people were doing the mitzvot, they were learning, but it was getting like sort of a a sleepy mode. It was becoming rote. It was just becoming without heart. The mitzvot were just people were just doing actions without thoughts. And therefore, the Baal Shem Tov innovated that there should be excitement. There should be all the Rebbe Shetishin, or the Friday night and the Shabbos by day, and the Yortzeiten and the L'chaims and the Tish and the Shirayim. All these things are just ways to wake up the soul and make a new excitement. In Chassidus, we know every day is a special day. In Le'achshav Emasai, every day has a new power in it. That the other days, every day is unique. So that's the lesson that we need to learn from this week also. That a person should know that we should work on it, and Hashem should help. That we should be able to instill this excitement of Torah and mitzvot in our personal lives, and thereby trying a little bit. Of course, we cannot achieve what Aaron did, to have the exact same level of excitement every single day, but at least to instill a little bit, somewhat, that we should instill such a service to Hashem with excitement every single day to begin fresh. This Shabbos is also Shabbat HaGadol, the big Shabbos. The Svarim speak already about the Shulchan Aruch, the Rav Shulchan Aruch, the Shebrura. HaGadol means that there was a great miracle that happened, that the Jews tied the lambs to their beds to prepare for the Korban Pesach. And the Egyptians, their god was the lamb, and they asked the Jews why they prepared. The Jews told them that they're going to slaughter it and they're going to eat it. And the Egyptians wanted to attack the Jews. And as they were about to attack, Hashem made they should freeze. They became frozen, and they had frozen statues all over Egypt, a whole Shabbat. That is the miracle of Shabbat HaGadol. But also, it's called Gadol because there's a lot of spiritual powers in the Shabbat HaGadol. We have to utilize it by listening to the speeches from the Rabbanim, from the rabbis which teach the Halakha. And Hashem should help us, like Kosev Rebbe used to wish, they should have a kosher Purim and a happy Pesach. People told him, Rabbi, I think you're mixing up. You're supposed to say a happy Purim and a kosher Pesach. And he said, no, I know what I'm saying. It's because on Pesach people work so hard, they sometimes lose their happiness. So they become depressed from such terrible work, hard work. So that's why I'm wishing them a happy Pesach. And Purim, since it's such a happy time, people might neglect to keep the Torah, keep the laws, and they're not completely with their stable mind. So that's why I'm wishing them a kosher Purim. We end the first part, and now I would like to go back to Parashat Vayikra, because we left out Vayikra last week, and we're going to go to Vayikra. Parashat Vayikra speaks about the karbanot, all the different karbanot that they brought. But I want to focus on the end, on the Haftorah. The Haftorah says, "V'lo oti karata Yaakov," you didn't call me Yaakov, ki yagata bi Israel, because you worked too hard. And the question is, what does this mean? What does it mean you worked too hard? You didn't call me Yaakov because you worked too hard, Israel. And the Dubna Magid gives a very nice parable on this question. He says that there was once two merchants that ordered a delivery. One ordered a very heavy box of nails, and the other one ordered a small pouch of diamonds. The mailman by mistake mixed up the packages, and he came to the diamond dealer with a heavy package, and he said, "You know, this is really heavy, you're going to have to pay me a lot of money." The diamond dealer said, if my package was heavy, then you don't have my correct package, because my package of diamonds is very light. It's the same thing if a person feels that Torah is difficult, learning Torah is difficult, doing mitzvot is difficult, and God says, you're not focusing correctly. My mitzvot, my Torah is not difficult, it's sweet and happiness. So if that's your attitude, you have to change your attitude, because you have a mistake in your attitude. Also, in the beginning of Parasha Vayikra, there's a small aleph to teach us that Moshe was humble. In this Parasha from Vayikra, the Korbanot, this is what we learn with the children. When the children become of age to learn Torah, we start with the Parasha of Korbanot. There's different explanations why do we start with this Parasha. So Rabbi Shapiro, Rosh Hashiva of Chachma Lublin, explained that the Torah is teaching us the Korbanot costed money. It was sometimes very expensive. The Torah is teaching us that we have to make sacrifices for the education of our children. Some people might say that Torah education is very expensive. Perhaps I should send to public school. Perhaps I should send to schools who are not so religious. We have to remember this Parasha, the sacrifices. A person had to take from his money and sacrifice for the Korbanot. So we have to remember that our children's education is also something worth saving money and spending money, because ultimately we'll reap the benefits from the Torah. Thank you very much. Have a good Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, and Chag Kasher v'Sameach.